You can always edit later. So yeah, before we get started, I mean, the record button literally disappeared. I had to sit
All
there and
good.
right click to get it. I mean, this is just unusual. It's not even a full moon.
It's all right. It's okay.
It's like
Everybody
a
just take a
flutterwave.
deep breath.
We're gonna take a deep breath.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
thank y'all
Let's
for
go.
y'all patience. I do apologize again.
Yes, 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 yes. No problem.
So we'll get started. Welcome to another episode of Lifestyle After 5. It's another Wednesday here on the radio. And today we are delighted to have 3 Wellness with us. Of course, you know my co-host Shad is sitting in with us.
How you ladies doing? How you ladies doing?
Hello.
We're
How you
good.
doing?
Doing
Hello
great.
again.
Yes, again, the 3 lovely ladies from 3 Wellness. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
I will kick it off. I am Sherry Robinson with Three Wellness Institute, but just before I go ahead and kick it off, I'll just talk about our mission right quick. It is the Three Wellness Institute is giving communities and individuals information and guidance needed to obtain optimal health, longevity, and quality of life. We are Three Wellness Institute. I am Sherry Robinson, certified health coach, former personal trainer of 10 years, gym manager, as well as a business owner of Whole Food, International Whole Food Business. That's me, and I will pass it over to Donna or Sion.
Thank you for that. That is a lot, Sherry.
I know.
I am
Appreciate
Donna
that.
Neely, better known as Coach Donna K. Like Sherry said, we're in Three Wellness Institute. We're basically a hub for resources. Our target market, our main target market is the males.
Mhm.
There's a lot out there for the females, but not a lot for the males as far as health and wellness is concerned. So that's our focus mainly. But I am the founder and executive director of the STEAMA Total Transformation, a health and wellness organization, nonprofit. My niche in the industry is to reverse chronic illnesses, help people to treat them naturally, totally holistic. I am a personal trainer, a nutrition consultant, health coach, a life coach, lifestyle transformation specialist, working on I'm also a holistic weight loss expert, as well as working on a holistic chef certification at the moment. So I cover about 70 to 100 clients any given day. And so I'm on the floor training, but also doing cooking classes and other events. So we stay busy.
Wow, that's interesting. And Sion?
Yeah,
That's Sion Jones, here representing Three Wellness Institute as well. I am the owner of CM Fitness, just recently rebranded to Fitter, and that's spelled FITHR. We like to call it Fit Human Resources or Fitter at Any Age. It's an online support community. Here I'm trying to build healthy and fit communities, not only locally, but globally. I've been in the business for 25 plus years, former bodybuilder. I also a personal trainer and health coach. But my target market recently is like the aging community, and not aging as an old, but I would like to call myself the ambassador for the 40 plus people. And I'd like to thank you for the invite.
It's our pleasure. Thank you, ladies.
Wow. All three of you got impressive resumes. That's amazing.
They got quite the resume, extensive resume in fitness.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like your titles are long. You guys to do a lot. So I have a question. Is typically as you mentioned, 40 plus, when you get into this age, life seems to add a few pounds to the majority of us. How is it dating, being fitness coaches? Finding men, typically, at this age, we got the beer guts. We're not in the most healthiest
No.
shape of our lives as some men.
Thanks.
Well, you want to go, Donna, or you want me to go?
Go ahead, Sia.
Well, I like to say that I am lonely in my fitness. And what I mean by that is that, I'm not ashamed to say my age. I'm 55. And I usually have a problem with dating because men my age are not fit and in shape. And then men that are younger don't have the mental capacity to interact with me. So it's a really hard space for men dating, because usually men my age are yes, really aren't really interested in fitness.
You're right.
But I do see a lot of men though in the gym.
Yeah, I see a lot of men in the gym.
Men are looking at women like you in the gym. That's why I find it it's kind of ironic, or oxymoron, because a lot of men go to the gym to see women like you, but then women like you are saying you're having a hard problem dating men. So I'm just trying to figure out what a disconnect is.
Well, the disconnect for me is that there are men in the gym, but there aren't a lot of older Black men in the gym. That's been my personal experience. I'm just speaking from my personal experience. And the ones that are in the gym, if they're in the gym, they're older, they're on the cardio equipment, and they're trying to get their health together.
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound like this. I say this all the time, but I don't want to be in a relationship and be working for hospice.
Yeah, caregiver. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take it from there, Sion, because I am actually, my husband is deceased, and he's
Sorry
been
to hear
deceased
that.
8 years. And so I didn't start my bodybuilding journey until after his death. And so I've been doing that for 8 years. I'm a professional figure competitor. But I tend, and I'm going to say my age too, because that's where we are. So I'll be 59 in January. So I don't really look in the gym because I have my own studio. So I'm not at the big box gyms. I've never liked those. But the men in the gym don't really interest me. My boyfriend right now, he's a football coach. So that's where I look. If they're involved in a sport, if they understand the fitness, and I've never dated a bodybuilder.
Okay.
I've not been drawn to that, even though that's what I do. And sometimes we scare men away because we are so in depth in it's not just about throwing weights. Say, I can throw weights with you all day long, but when it comes down to the nutrition part, and then the whole person understanding that there's more to us than we're dimensional. And so I look at the 10 dimensions of wellness that I work with. So it goes everywhere from your finances to your mental state to your occupation. Everything works in your wellness. So that becomes fearful to some men that I run into. And like Sion said, when I try to go younger, the mental capacity is just not there.
Wow, I mean, that is intimidating. I was in the gym a few months ago, and it was time for me to go when I seen this woman put 225 pounds on there and start pushing it. And I was like, oh, I'm in the wrong gym. So that can be intimidating, you being shown up in the gym. Now, when you say you can't find fit, what type of fit man are you looking for? Do you have to be like, I think it's Chili from TLC, when her requirements where you got to have a six pack, you got to have six pack abs and you got to have the chiseled chest and the cut arms? Are you just looking for somebody nice and trimmed and somewhat in shape, or you want the rock hard movie star body?
No, I'm not looking for the rock hard body, because what people don't understand, even those guys walking around like that, then the question that comes to my mind is, are you on steroids? Because I mean, that's not sustainable. That's not a sustainable look, especially when you get 50 plus and you're walking around looking like the Rock. Yeah, I mean, more than likely, you're probably going to be on some type of testosterone drug, because as we age, your testosterone levels drop, and men just can't walk around rock hard like that. But what am I looking for? I'm looking for someone who has an interest in their health and fitness, because that's compatibility for me. I don't, I always tell people, like, your body tells me what you do, what you do when you're not with me. Now, if you're overweight, then that tells me that you're probably very sedentary and I'm very active, if you're overweight, that tells me that you eat a lot of junk food and I don't. So we're just not going to be compatible. But I'm just looking for someone that has an interest in health and fitness, concerned about their health and fitness. And, I don't want it to be a tug of war, but no, you don't have to have a six pack or, a chiseled chest, but, the mere fact that he's concerned about his health and fitness, I will be able to see that. Like, he don't really need to tell me that he's into health and fitness. I mean, fitness is something you can't fake.
No, you can't.
So if I come to you and I got 15 to 20 pounds that I need to lose, but I'm trying, I say, hey, I'm not there yet. Can you work with me? Is that something you could deal with?
Oh yeah, it is. Long time ago, I kind of grew out of this, but meeting guys, I used to ask them, do you have a gym membership? And it's like,
Oh.
what do you mean? Well, I can get one. I said, no. Do you have one?
Mhm.
We all can get one after the fact if you think that's going to draw my interest, but if you have a gym membership, that's like, at some point in time, it was an idea, it was a thought, because I spend most of the time in the gym. But no, you don't have to be. You could be a little. I mean, I don't know the defining overweight. Like, having a
Basically, I can
big
define it.
beer gut, is a concern.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's hard, which is kind of funny because typically this conversation is the reverse way around, as men trying to find in shape women as well at this age. Because a lot of women say they have children. And then, of course, matter of fact, the Steve Harvey Morning Show was talking about this morning, because you can't tell a woman that she's fat or she's overweight. I think men can take it a little bit better. We can take our spouses or significant others telling us that we I'm not saying we're gonna go out there and lose it, but we should be able to take it without it hurting our feelings and crushing our egos. But as women, as a man, and you're in the opposite situation, how do you express to your woman that it's time to go to the gym and tighten up?
Good question.
It even got y'all quiet.
Yeah, because because it's hard for us to answer that because we're in a different space. Okay. Um, with women, and we run into them, we train them.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be candid, and I think I spoke this on another video recording. They want to keep the boobs in the butt, but they don't want to lose. They want to lose everything else, and it doesn't work like that. And that's because you can't spot reduce, but we can't get in their head that it's not yes, it's about, how can I put it? It's about your health, not about what you're looking like. Yes, we want to look good, but it's about the health. So it's more of speaking to their health rather than saying you're fat or you're too large. If you go that route, you're going to get chewed out.
Mhm.
Okay.
They
If
want
you
honesty.
well, talk about their health. You want them to be around. You want them to want to make sure that they don't have come up with chronic disease. And the larger you are, the more at risk you are for that. And so if you go that route, show that you care, um, you love them the way they are, but you care and you want them to stay around. That's
Brings
a
up-
better way to
So,
approach it.
but you know me, I'm known for taking it left on different things. Why can't we as adults? The biggest theme right now that everybody's talking about is we should have adult conversation. We should be able to communicate with everything.
Yeah.
And men I just can't go through all of this tiptoeing. After a while, men get tired of these eggshells, and they're going to ask you so many times, and then you're going to find the men because you got to think, especially if he's working out, he's in the gym and he's seeing the other people that's putting in work. Meanwhile, the common excuse that most women, well, you know, I had kids. Although the kid is about 45 now, 30,
Yeah.
30, 45 years old, you still
Yeah.
blaming this kid have left your body 30 years ago, and we're still going around saying, well, it's because of I had this kid or kids that I've gained weight. And I think it's really damaging to a lot of relationships to not be able to be open because if the man is telling you, hey, you're getting big, I want you to lose weight, he's still interested in you. He want that in you. And it's not that he doesn't love you. We don't care. And health comes about with that. And like I said, vice versa. You don't want a man that's sitting around with a big beer belly. That was on a strawberry letter. Like I said, with Steve Harvey this morning, where a woman wrote in and trying to ask, how does she tell her husband that he didn't got way too big? She's done got in shape and everything, and he's carrying a beer belly around. And I think if one is in working out, it's not fair to the other to have to put in that work. You know, I'm working my best to look good for you. Can you do the same for me?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's fair. Like that would be, that's fair. But the other part, for me, it always goes back to, I think men don't understand women and women don't understand men, and it's definitely complete opposite. So for me, I always tell women that men are visual, and they get, well, I'm just telling you the facts. I said, your looks can get a man, but your looks may not necessarily keep him, because as soon as he finds out you crazy, he's gonna jet, but your looks can get him, can get his attention. So my thing is, women get married and they look a certain way and they think getting married, I've sealed the deal. No, it's still work. You still got to take care of yourself. You still got to look a certain way. And there's too many people out there who have had kids that have bounced back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's like having kids. Okay. I even had this guy one time. He says, the girl said, I had kids. He said, well, did you eat them? Because I don't understand.
Wow, now that's mean. I wouldn't have said that.
I didn't say it. I'm just repeating that somebody else.
That's
But
tough.
I think if women understand that men are visual, and it's not that he don't love you, because life happens. But I think that the both people together, they need to like look out for each other, But that starts early on in the relationship, having those conversations.
Yeah.
But love and attraction is two different things.
Exactly.
I love plenty of people I'm not attracted to.
True.
And I don't understand why we make that such a why is that such a negative connotation on that? I mean, because there are some men that won't touch a woman unless she's 300 plus. They don't want an in shape woman, and it's somebody for everybody.
It is.
It's just finding that match in that fit.
Yeah.
Right. But okay, so you're saying some men like bigger women, and they're going to know that in the beginning that they like bigger women. But if you're like, for example, if you're a size 10 when you guys hook up,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking about there's going to be some weight gain as you get older, but you know, there is a line, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
and for health reasons, you should monitor
Yes.
your weight. You know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it is ultimately about health. But I also understand that we want to look good. But I find that women, when they get married, and they get mad at me for saying this, that they just let themselves go. And I'm like, no, it's a constant, I mean, it's constant work for him and for her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad you saying this as a woman and not me having to say this, because men look at stuff like this. You want him to love you, but then you won't fix yourself up for your husband. But if you get invited to a work dinner, you want to look your best and you're throwing on girdles and everything else, but you won't even do that for your husband. You know, anybody else call, you got to be all spiffy and everything. Oh, I can't do this because I don't have my hair done. And I don't look nice and I don't do this. But for your husband, all he get is, well, you should just love me anyway. But
I
no,
mean,
but you don't treat anyone else like that.
I agree. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I have this conversation with women all the time, and you know, they get mad at me because I just kind of speak the truth, because you know, a lot of my clients are males, and I'm getting the other side, you know, and they're sharing this information with me, and they was like, yo, like, you know, how about her? You know, she needs to put some little forth some effort for me when I get home. You know, I want to see her in some tight clothes or some loose clothes. I mean, you want to
Exactly.
see her look that way because you know I'm visual.
Mm-hmm.
It's work to be in a relationship, and you like, it's not a one and done. Oh, if I didn't
No.
got married, you got to continue to work if you want a happy, successful relationship. And
Yeah.
having the tough conversations and the communications. And that's why I thank God for women like you three that can help women as well as men through this and
Yeah.
getting right with the nutrition.
Yes. Yes.
I think we're coming around somewhat, just a little bit. There's,
Yeah.
you know, the women that I work with, they're coming around. You know, it took some time to get them there, for them to understand that they should be doing better. They can do better, but our excuse is, especially if we have children, we can never find the time. Um,
Yeah.
we gotta do this for the house. We've got to go do that, and then we're working full time. We find
Yeah.
all excuses we can not to put in work. When you say the word work, or when you say the word workout, or if you say the word exercise, you're just it is. I don't have time for that. And I think that's just been ingrained in us. You know, for one thing, we're made to feel guilty if we take out time for ourselves.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's not necessarily coming from the men making us feel guilty. It's other women that make us feel guilty. You know, you shouldn't be at that gym. You know, you have a husband, or you have um a spouse, a partner, or a boyfriend. You shouldn't even be out there with those men looking at you. I mean, we go through a lot
Yeah.
um that you all don't even know about, coming from other women, and
Yeah, that
especially
is, I would say
being,
that's the biggest hurdle. One
yeah,
of our biggest, I mean, yeah, one of our biggest hurdle, even being into fitness or health and fitness, is other women.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
y'all critics.
yeah, and we catch it, you know. um you shouldn't lift heavy. um you don't need to look like a man.
Yes. Yeah.
um
Yeah, I've
and
heard
see,
that one.
they don't understand that we'll never look like a man unless we take steroids, to take some
Mm-mm.
drugs, you know. Yes, we you need muscle. Women after the age of 40, we start losing muscle rapidly. And so we need that muscle to keep us from falling, to keep us from having hip replacements and all like that. What it is lack of understanding, lack of knowledge,
Yeah.
lack of education in the health realm. And a lot of people don't want to find out because then they'll be held accountable to make some changes. Mario, my boyfriend who's sitting right here, he's a relationship coach, and he constantly tells me, when I come and meet with him, he doesn't want to see me in my gym uniform or my workout, because at that point I'm with him, so I'm on his arm, look like something, without my
Exactly.
tennis shoes, put
Yeah.
my
Exactly.
stilettos on, but we don't think. I'm thinking I'm fine. I'm coming from the gym. I've been working all day. Let's go do something. But you guys are visual.
Yep.
But you know, the thing you get hit with, oh, you just making excuses. You just want to go, you just want to be with somebody else or go be with them. Why you comparing me to somebody else?
Yeah. But again, like Donna just said, it's lack of understanding. And I find just like there's a lot of things that I've learned about men with being around my men clients, because they're very candid, very transparent. I can ask them anything. And because there's no relationship, they're very open about it. And then, they come to me and ask me, they'll tell me situations going on with their significant other. And then I was like, no, this is what she is really saying, or this is like, so I just think that men need to spend some time understanding women, their ways, their thought process, because
I would
everybody
never
assumes that
understand
everybody
women.
is thinking the same. And then women needs to, I mean, I'm not even talking about like really taking a deep dive into how, I mean, I'm just talking about just kind of like surface things, just so you can navigate, having conversations with her, understand like why she's acting that way, but that's good. Donna
First
brought
man
that
to
up.
do
He
that, let
said,
me know. He's going to win a
huh?
Nobel Peace Prize. The first man that can do that, understand women and take their deep dive and understand how she's feeling and why she's acting like that, he's going to get a Nobel
That's
Peace
right. Well,
Prize.
Well,
well,
Come
I'm not
join the
even
rest
saying,
of
I
us.
mean, we're all very complex. I don't even think like, I have no desire to kind of like know like all the intricate parts of a man, but I do need to know that he needs to know that I appreciate him. He does. I do need to know that he likes for me to look a certain way. I'm just
Right.
talking about the basic stuff. I'm not even talking about, you know, the want to be the protector and provider and all that stuff. Like, no, just do that. I'm just talking
Mhm.
about,
Now, I know a lot of women listening out there are going to say, "Oh, you talking and you are abusing women. You're targeting women," and that's the type of feedback that some people are going to get because I hear it all the time. You're bashing women. You bashing the females. So, what's some of the problems you see with the males to make it
Ooh,
fair? The
ooh,
males, the men.
ooh.
Cause y'all specialize in men, right? That's what y'all audience, man.
Ooh.
uh,
Dion, you want to
Men,
touch on? Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Donna. Go ahead. I was gonna say, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Men have this is from what I see. Men think they don't really need to do a whole lot. That how can I put it? To look a certain way, um, they don't you don't have to put in that much effort to look a certain way. We're going to accept you any way you come. Oh, at least we should. We're supposed to. If you're treating us a certain way or treating us, decent, we should just accept you guys the way that you are. You don't have to go to the gym. Um, you understand what I'm saying? It's like,
I do. They got like an ego. Like I don't need to work out.
yeah,
I got big arms, but
or deep
I'm
pockets.
strong.
Men think
Deep
just because
pockets,
they have
yeah.
deep pockets, men think sometimes just because they have deep pockets or have a lot of money, they can buy you whatever you want, then you shouldn't say anything. You should be good.
A lot of women think like that, though.
Pardon
But
me?
no,
A lot of modern women think like that.
so, men
But
also.
yeah, a lot of women think like that. But then what about us fit women?
Yeah, and I mean, in my experience, though, let me say this: I'm married, and those conversations are definitely hard to have in the beginning. But now that we're older, it's like you said, I want you to be here because I care. So I think you should do it for each other.
Amen.
Not for nobody else. Just to
Mhm.
be around. Like I don't want to die at 50. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
so I mean, me and my wife both. I'm not in shape, but I know I do things to try to prolong life. I mean, I could do better, but it's hard. It's a struggle.
Mhm.
What's so hard about it? What's the struggle?
It's just I don't know, man. It's a struggle, man. I'll do good for a while, and then I can't get off work on time, or I just don't have the time.
Okay, so that's where you go into and you get, if it's really important to you, um, it's like I said, my husband is deceased, but I was a caregiver for 12 years out of the 14 years we were married
Hmm.
because um, he kept eating the same way. He
Hmm.
wouldn't change anything, or he would get depressed, or he would start and he would stop. So that's where you go into, if you know you keep stopping and starting, you find help. You get a health coach, you get a trainer. You have to invest in yourself,
Hmm.
Yeah. Mhm.
because your health doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody around you. And
Right.
so when he died, I was angry with him because he was 53, carrying an oxygen tank behind him. He looked like an 80-year-old man, could only go up three stairs and then he'd have to rest.
Oh man.
That was not fair to me. He had children, that's not fair to his children. He had grandchildren, that wasn't fair to them. But because he refused to change because of his ego, he was just, he didn't have to do anything. But now he's gone, and everybody around him was affected by that. So that's what I tell everybody, men and women. It just doesn't just, it's not really about you.
Yeah.
It's
And
about
it's
the ones you
That's
say
good
you
advice.
love.
Yeah, and it becomes a lifestyle. Yeah, as we continue to talk about, it's not a quick fix, nothing. And there's a lot of things out there that we run across as well, challenging in the health and fitness world of the quick fixes. But no, it's definitely a lifestyle. Definitely a lifestyle. It's like a non-negotiable almost with yourself.
Yeah.
Hard lifestyle, trying to stay in shape.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
men also run into another issue. The frustrating thing about a man is you're lifting all the weights in the gym, you're working out, you got a good cardio, and you look good and you feel good. But now that age can hit you and you can't perform good.
Oh well.
Every muscle in your body gets strong but one.
Hey, if that one
And
ain't
that
working, ain't nothing
damage, and that damaged a man
Yeah.
emotionally when
Yeah.
in your mind you can take on the whole house, it, you if you want in your mind, say, oh, I can take every woman in the world, but in reality, you barely
Mm-hmm.
gonna make it with one, and you just
Okay.
don't have it.
Okay, you say that. Okay, you say your cardio's good, your weightlifting's good, but my concern with men, usually when those things start to happen, I have
Hmm.
to ask them, have you been to the doctor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because everything that looks good ain't good,
Hmm.
and I always tell people, like, even um you have to go to the doctor and establish like a baseline with your numbers so that when you go back they can see the changes. But usually men, not all men but most men, they wait until it gets really really bad
Mm-hmm.
and then they go to the doctor. And a lot of times I tell them, I have this tagline: if your health is good, your wood is good.
Yeah.
So if you start having some erectile dysfunction issues, like I would think, like, you might need to go to get yourself checked. Because going to the gym, I mean, Donna, no, we've known people to go to the gym and then somebody said they died. I'm like, what? You know, you know,
Yeah.
and they're in the gym all the time. So So when that starts to happen, I wish men would just say, hey, maybe I need to get myself checked.
But I think a lot of men do get themselves checked because a lot of men are on Viagra, and you have to have that prescribed by a doctor to get Viagra. And a lot of times, a man, when you go in there and you get checked, they'll tell you, yeah, everything's fine. You just have gotten older. You're not no young spring chicken no more. And I guess that brings the conversation, what is reasonable? Because I guess some men can perform, but they can't perform as strong as they used to, where, when you were in your 20s, you could go all night long, and now you find yourself 50 and you struggling for that 30-minute round, or that hour to get up, or premature ejaculation, or some different things that men have to deal with.
I think, not only as, it's not just men are changing, women are changing too. And, I think Donna and Sherry and I've had this conversation before about we're all
when it comes to
changing.
sex, but when it comes to sex, a woman can sit in a crowd, but a man got to take center stage, or the show don't happen.
Well, I'm
Well,
gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump in.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump in because as we talked about it a little bit last night, as far as are they on medicine? As we talk about the different causes of with high cholesterol medicine, diabetes, or high blood pressure medicine. A lot of the medicines that men are taking that don't really know the side effects of what it's doing to them internally. And that's what we educate on as well. I mean, going back to kidney disease, obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, and they if they're on medication, yeah, they're going to start running into some problems. They're going to start running, and I think I have mentioned with antidepressants as well.
Mhm.
It's a lot. There's a list out there that we continue to talk about that a lot of men are not even aware if they continue to take those.
Even when you're not on medication, at what age is it acceptable? Let's just say you've been healthy, but I mean, you're 65 now as a man, so you obviously are going to have some issues. So,
Maybe.
and yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess there are a few. I mean, I had my grandfather died at 87, and his wife was 55.
Oh,
And they got
okay.
married. I think they got married when he was 50 something and she was like 38.
Mhm.
So I remember going to the we was at the doctor with him one day. He had a medical issue or whatever. We was today, and they thought that we were brother and sisters, and they was like, your father is gonna be okay. And so I remember them asking him the question like, how are you, your sexual health? And he's like, not bad. At that time, I think he might have been 67. Not bad for a 70-some-year-old man. So you're gonna have those as you get older, it's just not gonna stand up like it used to. But women,
Your health.
Yeah.
but if that was the case, you got all these men that's sitting around there on, Viagra and different things.
Yes.
Personally, I don't know no one over that age that's not taking some type of enhancement.
I worked at a retirement home, and there was, men and women. They had all levels of retirement there, assisted living and on up. But most of them, when their partner died, they were getting married about 2 or 3 months later. They were still
Really?
going at it, and they weren't on Viagra. They were active. They were active individuals. They were out walking. They were going to their little gym. They were active. And so what I wanted to say is Sherry gave us a list of, these illnesses and taking the medication for those illnesses that actually cause the dysfunction. And so the doctors don't tell you the side effects, but 90% of men diagnosed with high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, cholesterol, 90% of those men dealing with those issues alone right there will end up with ED.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like we alluded to earlier, you just not into the person. She doesn't dress up for you. She doesn't thrill you. And it's not that you're not in hell, you're not on any medication, you're not, you're healthy. It's a mental thing. Is
It
what
is.
of getting into. And a lot of times, like you said, she's not bringing nothing new. You've been doing the same thing for the last 10 or 15 years, and you just not stimulated anymore. And you just need to bring some spice. Because sometimes, you find yourself, for some reason at home, I can't perform. But I notice if I'm in the gym and I'm looking or I'm with somebody else and I see somebody else, for some reason, things turn on there. And that's something that we have to consider. Another thing as men, you have to look at as some men over sexualized. I think they call that the porn effect
Mm-hmm.
that can play a role in ED as well.
Mm.
And
True.
that's one of those things that no one really talks about and put that out there. I was reading something that was saying if you watch a lot of porn, it can have an effect on how you perform in the long run sexually with women because of the mental thing. I mean, in your mind, if you seeing all of this, then you come through. It's kind of like I guess the way I could put it, you're on a highway going 80 miles an hour, and then you take an exit to a 30 mile 2-lane highway in town. It's just not going to work out well for you. You
You
got to
say
give it
that,
up.
and I think that is a big problem with a lot of men with the ED thing is being overstimulated in the
Mm-hmm.
pornography realm of things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, because I've heard one of my clients even have that we kind of had that conversation. But also, that's why I just, communication is so important. Like, I think
Yes.
if you have a partner and you guys are been together for an extensive period of time, as you get older, like, I think men and women should be able to have those conversations because if you're needing more stimulation, then she needs to know that you need more stimulation.
Mm.
And,
Time that
I don't,
conversation goes, like you said, women have their issues, and most women don't realize mentally what a man is going through as he started to get into his 40s and 50s because you get into that mindset, well, I want to do all I can right now because I don't know how much longer it's going to stay up and how long it's going to work. As a man, so mentally,
yeah.
you're going through your mental battles. The woman at this time is starting menopause and getting in there, and she's going through her battles, and nobody wants to listen and communicate. Everybody's concerned with their own issues, and they're not thinking and considering the other person and what they need. So, from when I hear some women about that, well, I'm having hot, I'm going through menopause. Why don't he gone somewhere? They don't feel that that's important to the man. Meanwhile, the man is sitting there depressed, and not just sexual and seeing different looks and things that men, and I guess in today's world, women go through this as well. But when we go to our 9 to 5s and our jobs, a lot of times on the jobs, it's very stressful, both for men and women. You're getting beat down all day long, and when you come home, it's supposed to be your safe haven. You don't want to stress about the pressures of the world, paying bills. You want someone there that can take your mind off of it. A good, stimulating conversation. It doesn't always have to be about sex. Just a good, stimulating conversation, and a man knowing that he can just be there and relax and take his mind off the pressures of the world.
That's very rare, sir.
Socially,
Very
we're
rare.
not, the roles are changed so much. Um, when you come from work, you come home, you got to fight through home. There's no safe haven. The women are, and I know I'm probably going to get knocked down for this, but the women are taking on the masculine role, and
Mhm.
the men are just kind of dealing with us. And as women get old, and you brought up menopause too, we don't even understand the menopause thing, because everybody that's saying they're in menopause is not in menopause.
No, no.
And the doctor's telling us that we're in menopause. We haven't even reached menopause yet. We just don't understand that what we've been eating and being inactive has caused our hormones to get out of sorts. And that is not menopause yet. So you got a lot of misconceptions, misunderstandings, not being educated on these things, and it's getting worse and worse.
Mhm.
And we're trying to get men and women to have a conversation, and that's like pulling teeth, because nobody wants to listen. Everybody's got their own issues, like you said, and we're just kind of stuck. And so we're trying to have we're having a conversation here, but a lot of women are ashamed. Men are prideful. You've got that clash going,
Mhm.
and who's going to be real enough to stand up and say, I've got ED, erectile dysfunction. I don't know what's going on, without the women saying. I had one gentleman tell me, nobody wants to date me because I let them know that I'm having this issue, and he couldn't get a date. Nobody wanted to be bothered with him. And so now his ego, his pride is shot. His
Yeah.
So, what does he have to do to find companionship?
Well,
I definitely
get it
think
up. There's
something's
the
going
first thing you
on.
got to do.
You know what I'm saying? When you got AD, you definitely
But
having an
then,
internal issue with your life.
but
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 think
but
about
when you
this:
got
if the doctor not gonna tell you what's going on, he gonna say, "Yeah, it's fine. You just need Viagra." It's their job to sell you that medicine. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
Yeah, right. So the
They're not
thing
gonna
is,
tell
they
you what's
never,
really going on because they want you to keep buying that medicine.
yeah.
yep.
And see, that's the thing. You're not told that you can reverse it,
Mhm.
and you can.
They're not gonna
Yep.
tell you that.
No, they're not. So that's why you have us. That's why you
it,
have
it,
3 Wellness Institute, to let you know that you can reverse that.
Mhm.
There is practically nothing under the sun that cannot be reversed with a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I do
Now,
too.
with this guy, I don't know why he declared that. Well, maybe he should declare that up front, because you never know. He might meet somebody that turns him on
Mhm.
and stimulate him, and that ED goes away.
It might, but
But that's a
evidently it
good
hadn't.
question. But is that a question? Is that something that you declare up front on the first date?
On the
Hi, my
first
name is
day.
so and so, and hi, my name is Ali, and I suffer from ED.
They definitely walking away, bro. You got to
Or
ease into that.
in your pro dating profile. Hi, I'm a nice man that's loving and caring and suffering from ED. I mean, come on.
No, no,
Why
I don't
would
think
you?
that's something you need to declare on the first. No, I don't.
Nah,
I don't.
What he need to do is find him one of those women that's got those 90-day rules or whatever. That ain't it. They ain't giving nothing up for 90 days. He can't do nothing for 90 days, and he can figure it out by then. On the night, that's 3 months. He got to get himself together and do what he got to do, and call 3 Wellness. He can get some workouts in. He can be in law 3 months with 2 pounds per week. Roughly, that's what
He can be
12
ready
pounds a
in
month.
90
Yeah,
days.
30, yeah.
he can be to knock 30 pounds off in 90 days
Yes,
if he
yeah,
go in there
yeah.
hard with three wellness or whatever. Got it all together, and by that 91st day, she won't know what hit her. He coming in like a missile. And he ain't
damn.
had none in a while too. That would be my advice to him.
But see, he's got
Man,
it in his mind
yeah,
that
he's
there's no
self-defeated.
help. He's got
Yeah,
it in
get his
his mind that
mind right.
there's no help.
Mhm. Mhm.
What he can do is, I don't know where he lives, but I mean, if he's somewhere near Atlanta, what he should do is every 30 days, give yourself a check. Go to Magic City somewhere. Go out a few dollars. Up, it's working. I can get it up. You know, if you get this lap dance and it's still sitting down, then yeah, you got some problems. I think they got a pump or something that they actually do. They got a pump for some guys
Yeah,
that can't get
They
up.
do.
Go get you a pump or
yeah.
something. Because it's at that point, if you get through Magic City or whatever, and it don't do nothing, it's dead.
Wait a minute. So is there like a certain age when ED start?
I mean, you
It's
got
not,
people in their 30s now that's got
yeah, there's not a certain
with
age.
drug use, can't get it
Okay.
up or whatever.
But
It's
I
all
think
in.
also someone said, like, just like with any drug that you take, if it's not natural, like it causes the body's natural functions to be dormant.
Mhm.
So, a lot of these guys are taking Viagra when they don't even need it,
Mhm.
and then it's getting
Oh, yeah.
themselves in a really bad place because now your body is kind of relying on an external source.
Yep. I
You
seen
bring up
one
a
dude
good
like,
point.
yo, I got a blue pill. I'm like, why you got that? I
Well,
want to
you
go
bring up a
to
good point. You know why I can tell you why they got that before time around. Real quick. I want to blame the women. I want to pick back on the women. These men are taking Viagra because now normal sex just don't cut it no more. We got to go all night long now and for hours and for to keep our reputation going, if it ain't, I mean, you listen to the songs and what's being promoted out there. I'm even seeing TikTok videos where men are having women get up on like they're in a push-up position and act like they on top to show them what a man go through and the strength that he
Yeah,
have to use to be staying in that position for so long. Matter of fact, don't steal my idea, but I actually thought about buying a brace where you could just lock your elbows once you get in that position. That way you won't get tired and get weak. But that's just me, I get crazy like that.
You're
But
gonna go
no,
numb.
people, yeah, go numb, but hey, you still got as
You
long as
know
the other
what?
thing is
You
still
might
hard.
make $1 million because that's definitely an easy fix. And people are into
Exactly.
easy fixes. I'm telling you. So we laugh, but
We can partner on that. We can all partner on that. We can get in on that.
yeah. So
but
But
see,
no,
okay, so there is a natural Viagra. I don't know the name of it, but I've researched. There is an herb that does not have the side effects to it that acts just like
well, they say
Viagra.
watermelon rhymes is very good. Watermelon
Mm-hmm.
rhymes along with cucumber
Mm-hmm.
and the
I mean, you've
seeds of
got
the
all of
watermelon.
these different natural things you can do,
It's a lot.
but that allows your
But
body to
again,
get back
how
active.
much is enough? Because you got some men that they can get it up and they can perform. They give you the best 10 to 15 minutes of your life. But some of these people want more. And that's where we get a problem. Is it erectile dysfunction
Or is
or
it just
the person
tired?
you want too
Eek.
much?
now I
It
don't
could
mean it.
be either.
You're saying these women want like these maybe I'm missing something
Or
because these
if we get
all
these
night
men,
rendezvous and stuff like
what they
that. I'm
say,
just
they
like,
want 3 hours.
and
I
I have
want
to
more.
ask myself, what is she taking?
Right.
Yeah, because
You got
I
these
gotta go to
women that
work to
be,
get some sleep.
Right.
you got these women that I want more. I want more. It's
Do we
morning. You
really
wake up sleep.
believe them?
Yeah.
Do we really believe them?
No, I don't.
Well,
No,
I do.
they lying.
These are man eaters. Especially they
They
get
just
these
they show
BBLs and
out.
stuff, and they go out there and BBLs, and they looking good, and you hear them on the TikToks and everything, and
But
yeah,
Yeah.
I
everything on
mean,
social media,
and
I mean,
even them,
you can.
but even I met some of these women in person, and some of these women you got to be this tall to ride that ride. This ride ain't for the little children, you got to meet a certain height requirement to ride this ride, or you out of there.
I
Yeah,
honestly believe it's a bunch of talk, a
it is.
bunch of
You're right.
trying to look a certain way. But when you get down with it and get down in it, 3 hours? Nah,
Nah, I'm not
nah,
even trying to go 3 hours.
no.
Good.
2 hours?
We know you not. We know you not. You not. We good.
A
Well, we
good
ride
30
down.
minutes.
If my wife asked me for
Oh,
3 hours,
30
I'll
good.
probably
Oh,
take
yeah. Now
it.
30, we into that fight. Whoa. We're going to go in round for
I'll
round.
probably just
30,
do
oh,
that.
30 minutes? Oh, shh.
He
Get the
said
clock.
it's right.
Get the clock ready.
We
The
got
clock going
45
in.
minutes to go to sleep.
We're going to get you. Ladies,
3 hours.
I really enjoyed you ladies coming on. Give us quickly your info, how we can find you for those that struggling, both men and women.
Okay. You can reach us at, again, we are Three Wellness Institute, promoting health, wellness, and quality of life. You can reach us at www.threewellnessinstitute.com. Again, that's www.3wellnessinstitute.com.
Yeah, and also on Instagram and Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Nice. We
Check out
definitely
the
gonna do that.
ladies of Three Wellness. Take on their services. And it's the end of the year, so it's the perfect time for that. You can maybe rekindle your marriage in 2024 or your
Yes.
relationship or get into a relationship and find one in
It's that wood.
2024. Yeah, get that. Make sure your wood is good, as they say.
Your health is
Yeah.
good.
Your health is good, your wood is good. So let's get in the gym and let's get our health going. And of course, listen to Lifestyle After 5, where we have these type of grown folks conversation. Of course, you can find us www.ollieafter5.com. And that will give you everything that shows us. All our socials is on that website. How to order our Lifestyle After 5 shirts. Oh, do I have an Ollie After 5 shirt on right now? But our new Lifestyle After 5 shirts is on the website. All our YouTube brands is on there. Check us out every Wednesday on, of course, this lovely radio station, WDJY 99.1. You can also catch us Lifestyle 5 on YouTube, where all our videos and social media lives there. And until next Wednesday, stay safe out there. We'll catch you on another episode.
Thank you
All
all
right.
for listening.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Good night.